Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. Let me start with a simple truth. Distraction is the enemy of destiny. The world we live in today is loud, it's busy, it's chaotic, and if you're not careful, it'll steal your day. And eventually, your life, you see, most people don't lose their way by taking the wrong road. They lose it because they never focused on the right one in today's world. The ability to focus has become a superpower. With information flying at us from every direction, phones buzzing, notifications popping, opinions flooding in, it's easier than ever to get distracted. But here's the truth. Focus is not just important, it's foundational. You can't build anything of real value without it. You can't grow a business, master a skill, or build a meaningful life if your attention is constantly scattered. People often think that success comes from doing more. More tasks, more meetings, more hustle. But the reality is, success is about doing less, more intentionally. It's about doing a few things with excellence instead of doing everything with mediocrity. And the only way to do that is with focus, you see. The people who rise to the top in any field aren't always the most talented or the smartest. They are the ones who have mastered the art of shutting out the noise and locking in on what matters most. While others are chasing trends, getting lost in distractions, and reacting to every little thing, these individuals are quietly, steadily building, brick by brick, day by day. And it's that focused effort, over time, that creates extraordinary results. Let me tell you something I learned early in my journey. You can either be busy, or you can be effective, but you can't be both. Busy people are everywhere, running around, checking off boxes, multitasking. But at the end of the day, they're exhausted and confused about why they're not making progress. On the other hand, focused people, intentional people, might do less in quantity, but the quality is undeniable. They choose their targets carefully, and they hit them with precision now. Don't get me wrong. Focus doesn't mean you live in a bubble or ignore the world. It means you have a strong enough why that you don't get pulled in by every what. It means you know where you're going and why it matters, and that clarity allows you to ignore distractions without guilt. It's like tuning an old radio static everywhere. But if you keep turning the dial with care, eventually you hit that clear station. That's focus. You eliminate the fuzz, the noise, the unnecessary, until you find the clear signal that aligns with your mission. That's when progress gets easier. That's when you start moving with speed and purpose. Focus builds momentum. And momentum is a powerful thing. It takes time to build, but once it's rolling, it carries you. You don't have to force yourself out of bed anymore. Your purpose pulls you up. You don't have to fight through every task. Your vision gives those tasks meaning, but it all begins with focus. That quiet decision you make each day to return to your goal, to shut out the gossip, the doubt, the temptation to compare yourself, to stop reacting and start creating, to stop being available for everyone else's agenda, and start showing up for your own life. And here's the beauty. Focus is a skill. It's not something you're born with, it's something you build. Like a muscle, it gets stronger the more you train it. Each time you say no to distraction, you're saying yes to your future. Each time you choose depth over speed, you're investing in long-term growth instead of short-term gratification. So if you want to change your life, don't start by trying to do more. Start by focusing better. Focus on your vision. Focus on your values. Focus on the habits that move the needle. And when you do that consistently, the noise won't just get quieter. It won't be able to find you at all, because when you're locked in, when you're aligned, when your heart and mind are working in harmony toward a clear goal, that's when you become unstoppable in a world that's constantly trying to pull your attention in 1,000 different directions. It's easy to get caught up in the noise. We're surrounded by distractions, social media alerts, breaking news, messages, opinions, unsolicited advice, and the pressure to engage in all of it can feel overwhelming. The noise can become so loud that you start to believe it's part of your reality. But the truth is, you don't have to live your life like this. There's a powerful truth that many people overlook. Discipline is the key to silencing that noise. Discipline isn't about forcing yourself into a rigid, joyless routine. It's about creating a structure that allows you to focus on what matters most, and by doing so, shutting out the distractions that don't serve your purpose. You see, noise is everywhere. It's in the form of distractions that pull you away from your goals. It's in the form of self-doubt, fears, and negative thoughts that keep you from taking action. And perhaps the most damaging form of noise, it's in the opinions and judgments of others. The noise comes in many shapes and forms, but the result is always the same. It keeps you from moving forward with clarity and confidence. Discipline, however, creates a shield. It's like putting on a suit of armor that allows you to walk through the noise without it affecting you. When you're disciplined, you've built habits and systems that protect your time, energy, and focus. You have a set of rules for yourself that guide your actions, even when the world tries to pull you in a different direction. The discipline to say no when necessary, the discipline to stay on track with your goals, and the discipline to not get derailed by every minor setback are what will allow you to silence the noise. Take a moment and think about the last time you were truly productive. What was different about that day? It wasn't about doing more. It wasn't about being overwhelmed with tasks. It was about being clear on your priorities and doing what you needed to do without letting the outside world interrupt you. That's what discipline does. It provides the structure that allows you to keep your focus on the important tasks. No matter how much noise surrounds you, discipline silences the noise by forcing you to make conscious decisions about how you spend your time. It removes the chaos that arises from poor habits and lack of routine. For example, when you build the discipline of waking up early, you start your day on your terms, not in reaction to the world. You have quiet time to reflect, plan, and set your intentions for the day. When you've disciplined yourself to eat healthily, you stop the noise of temptation and unhealthy cravings. When you stay disciplined in your work, you create momentum, and the distractions start to lose their power over you. The beauty of discipline is that it creates momentum. When you do something consistently, you begin to build a rhythm, and the rhythm allows you to focus even more. It turns hard tasks into second nature. It removes the internal noise that often causes hesitation. The more you stick to your discipline, the more the outside noise becomes irrelevant. People will always have opinions. They'll always have something to say about what you're doing or what you should be doing. But when you are disciplined, their noise doesn't bother you. Why? Because you know exactly where you're going and you're confident in your process. You've built a track record of consistent effort, and that record speaks for itself. Discipline doesn't mean being rigid and unyielding. It means creating a structure that supports your dreams, allowing you to keep your attention on what's important while filtering out the rest. It means having the strength to keep moving forward even when it's easier to give in to distractions. It means making decisions today that will support your long-term success. In fact, when you develop discipline, the noise begins to feel like background chatter that doesn't need your attention. You start to realize that your time is precious, and you can't afford to waste it on things that don't align with your purpose. The more disciplined you become, the less the outside world has the power to throw you off course. Discipline is not about perfection, but consistency. It's about showing up day after day and doing what you said you would do, regardless of how you feel or what the world is doing. That consistency builds confidence, and with that confidence, the noise around you becomes less and less relevant. So, when the distractions come, and they will, remember this: discipline is your tool to silence the noise. It's not about avoiding the distractions or pretending they don't exist. It's about knowing that you have the strength, structure, and consistency to move past them and stay focused on what really matters. With discipline, you don't just tune out the noise. You create a life where the noise can't find you in a world that's full of distractions and endless options. One of the hardest things to do is figure out what truly deserves your time and energy. We live in a society that constantly bombards us with choices, opinions, and opportunities, making it easy to feel like we need to be everywhere and do everything. But here's the reality: you can't afford to say yes to everything. In fact, one of the most powerful habits you can develop is the ability to identify and cut out what doesn't serve you. Whether that's people, activities, mindsets, or habits every day, you make decisions about how to spend your time, your focus, and your resources. The challenge is that not everything deserves your attention. In fact, most of what comes at you throughout the day is either irrelevant to your goals or actively detracts from your progress. If you're going to achieve anything meaningful, you need to create the habit of distinguishing between what moves you forward and what holds you back. Think about it. Your time and energy are finite resources. Once they are spent, you can't get them back. This makes it critical to be intentional with where you place your focus. Imagine that your life is a garden. Every action, every choice is a seed you plant. Some seeds grow into beautiful, fruitful trees. Others are weeds that drain your garden of nutrients and steal precious space. The more weeds you allow to grow, the less room there is for the flowers that will bring you fulfillment and success. One of the most important aspects of cutting out what doesn't serve you is realizing that not everything has to be a part of your life. We're often taught to chase everything, to aim for every opportunity, say yes to every invitation, and accept every idea that comes our way. But you don't need to be a jack of all trades or spread yourself so thin that you lose sight of what truly matters. The path to success isn't about doing everything. It's about doing the right things. The first step in this process is learning to identify what doesn't serve you. This might sound simple, but it's a skill that requires self-awareness and honesty. Start by evaluating your habits. Do you spend hours mindlessly scrolling through social media? Do you allow yourself to get caught up in drama or negativity? Are you involved in activities or relationships that drain your energy and offer little in return? Be brutally honest with yourself about where your time and energy are going next. Assess your relationships. People are one of the greatest influences on your life, so it's crucial to surround yourself with those who support, inspire, and challenge you. If you have people in your life who consistently drain you, undermine your confidence, or encourage behaviors that don't align with your values, it might be time to reconsider the connection. This doesn't mean you need to sever ties with everyone who doesn't agree with you or who challenges you from time to time. But if someone consistently brings negativity, criticism, or drama into your life, their presence will only hold you back. Cutting out toxic relationships is essential for personal growth. The same principle applies to your environment. Look around you. Are you surrounded by clutter, distractions, or things that don't bring you joy or serve a purpose? If so, you're not just dealing with physical mess, you're also dealing with mental and emotional noise. Clear out your environment and create a space that supports your goals. Whether it's your workspace, your home, or the people you spend time with, your surroundings play a huge role in your ability to focus and make progress now. Cutting out what doesn't serve you also means getting rid of limiting beliefs. Often, the biggest obstacle in our path is our own mindset. Negative self-talk, doubts, and fears keep us from stepping into our full potential. We tell ourselves we're not good enough, that success is for others, not for us, or that it's too late to change. These beliefs are like weeds in your garden, stunting growth and preventing the beautiful flowers of possibility from blooming. To cut them out, you need to consciously replace them with empowering thoughts and affirmations. Remind yourself of your worth, your potential, and your capacity for growth. Replace "I can't" with "I will." Finally, cutting out what doesn't serve you requires discipline and courage. It's not always easy to walk away from habits, relationships, or beliefs that you've clung to for a long time. But when you free yourself from the things that are holding you back, you make room for the things that truly matter. You make room for growth, for success, and for fulfillment. Cutting out the unnecessary is an act of self-respect and a powerful statement that you're ready to take control of your life. Remember, every time you remove something that doesn't serve you, you're making space for something better. It's a process of constant refinement, of peeling away the layers that no longer fit who you are or who you're becoming. And in doing so, you'll find that your life becomes simpler, more focused, and ultimately more fulfilling in a world where opinions are abundant and easily voiced. It's tempting to get caught up in what others think about your journey. Whether it's the people around you, social media critics, or even well-meaning friends and family, everyone has an opinion on how you should live your life, what you should be doing, and what your goals should look like. But here's the truth that many people overlook. Opinions are just noise. They're fleeting, they're subjective, and they're often uninformed. The only thing that truly matters in the end is what you can prove with your results. Let's think about it for a moment. Everyone has something to say, but only a few can show what they've actually done. Opinions are easy to give. Results require hard work, consistency, and action. The more you focus on producing results, the less you'll find yourself tangled in the opinions of others. The world is full of critics. It's easy to be judged by people who have never walked the path you're walking or attempted what you're attempting. These opinions may be based on misconceptions, envy, or simple lack of understanding. In fact, many of the greatest critics are the ones who never actually try. They watch from the sidelines, offering unsolicited advice and commentary, but they are not the ones putting in the work. And here's the secret: the louder the opinions, the more important it is to stay focused on your results. Results are the great equalizer. Opinions are often laced with doubt, fear, or negativity, but results are irrefutable. They don't need to be explained or defended. They speak for themselves. When you let your results speak louder than opinions, you give yourself the power to take control of your narrative. You no longer need to convince others of your worth or your path. Your results will demonstrate your value and your commitment. Think about some of the most successful people you know, whether they're business leaders, athletes, or creatives. These individuals didn't rise to prominence by getting bogged down in what others said about them. In fact, many of them faced harsh criticism, skepticism, and doubt. They didn't waste time responding to every comment or trying to change the minds of people who didn't believe in their vision. Instead, they focused on taking consistent action, building their craft, and producing the results that spoke for themselves. When you focus on results, you stop measuring your worth by the opinions of others. You stop waiting for validation. Instead, you create your own benchmarks of success, and you let those benchmarks tell the story. Results are concrete. They are measurable. They stand on their own and tell the world everything it needs to know about your effort, dedication, and ability. But here's the thing: achieving results doesn't happen overnight. It's easy for others to have an opinion when they see a snapshot of your journey, but they don't see the blood, sweat, and tears that go into achieving real progress. The most successful people are the ones who stay focused even when results aren't immediate. They don't get distracted by temporary setbacks, nor do they get discouraged by negative opinions. They stay committed to the process, trusting that if they continue to put in the work, their results will eventually catch up with their efforts. Look at the idea of long-term results. When you're focused on results, you're playing the long game. Short-term wins may come and go, but the power lies in sustained effort over time. Your results today are the culmination of yesterday's work, and your results tomorrow will be shaped by the work you do today. The moment you focus on proving yourself through results, you stop being reactive to what others say, and instead, you become proactive in creating your future. Remember that not everyone will understand your journey. Some will criticize you for the decisions you make, while others might tell you to take a different route. But here's what you need to remember: it's not their results that matter, it's yours. As you build, as you create, as you work day in and day out toward your goals, you'll realize that the opinions of others fade into the background. Their words no longer have the power to distract or discourage you. What matters is the work you put in, the effort you give, and the results that come from it. So, the next time you feel tempted to defend yourself or your choices against the opinions of others, take a step back. Ask yourself, what am I creating? What are the results I can point to that show my progress? Let those results speak for themselves. Keep putting in the work, stay committed to your vision, and focus on what you can control. In the end, your results will do all the talking, and the opinions that once seemed so loud will be nothing more than distant background noise in a world filled with noise and endless opinions. Remember this. You don't need to defend your vision or justify your path to anyone. People will always have something to say, but it's the results that will silence the critics. Focus on what you can control. Your effort, your discipline, and your determination. You have the power to shape your future, and the world will eventually take notice of what you create. So, let your results do the talking. Don't waste time trying to convince anyone of your worth or your journey. Your actions, your progress, and your achievements will speak louder than any opinion ever could. And when the noise gets loud, when doubt creeps in, and when others try to sway you from your course, stay focused. Keep working, keep growing, keep producing results, because in the end, it's not the opinions of others that define your success. It's the results you create through your commitment, your focus, and your belief in yourself. Thank you.